to our sidewalls. I got 2 pieces, about an arm length long. Sometimes that's a little bit long depending on the head that you're stringing. I'm just going to prep them first. So what we're going to do to prep them, basically we're going to tie that same knot that we did in the top string. So we're going to loop it through once, loop it through twice. Then we're pulling, and it should form a nice big tight knot like that. I'm going to take my other piece, do the same thing. Once, twice, pull. Make sure it's real tight, because if not it'll slip through. Pull it through there, get a nice knot. Then I'm going to start in the next hole coming down the side of the stick and string it through there. Same thing with the other side. String it through nice and tight, pull. Once we get our sidewalls in, knots tied, pulling them through this way, we're coming through the top hole in the mesh. So we come through the top hole, pull it through, same thing on the other side. Top hole, pull it through. Once we have that, I like to concentrate on one sidewall, so we'll concentrate on this sidewall over here. The key to stringing a good stick is having the tight to right about where you want the pocket to start, nice and tight. So this top, we want it tight. So I'm going to go down through the next hole and come through. I'm going to skip a hole and come through this hole. I'm going to go through the inside. I got this loop. We're going to pull the string right through the loop, so it kind of forms that lock. Once we get that lock, I'm going to pull it nice and tight. As you can see, it pulled the mesh down. It put some, tightness on the top of it, and that's what we're going to do for that. Next, I usually like to do it twice, because I like my pockets to form in the middle of the stick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the next hole, up through the next hole, come down through the next hole. We're going to go in through the next sidewall hole. We're going to pull it up. We got our loop. We're going to pull through the loop. Pull that nice and tight. So now the top of my stick should be pretty tight. I'll jump to the other sidewall just for this video purpose. So guys, I did the same thing on the other side. It's important to do the same exact design on each side. Now we're in the middle of the stick. That's where I like my pocket to start. So what I'm going to do in between this hole and the next hole is I go through 2 holes. So I'm going to come down through the next hole, pull it through, and I'm going to come down through the next hole in line, and I'm going to pull it through. Once I do that, I'm going to come through the inside of the sidewall, pull it through. Now I don't want the loop, so now what I'm going to do is, see how this is pulled through that hole? I'm going to come right inside of this hole and pull that tight. This allows it to free float kind of on this sidewall. Where these are locked in, because I want it tight, I don't really want it flowing. This I want it flowing, because that's where my pocket's going to sit, so I double it and let it go loose there. Then guys, what I do for the rest of the stick, because it's a proton power, I string them a lot of kids play with them, so I kind of have figured out the best way to string it, is you come down through the next hole and you pull it loose, and you come through the eye hole, and there you go. We're coming, looping it through. We're not locking any more holes in on this stick. We pull it in, kind of forms the pocket in the middle a little bit more. Come through the next hole, down through the next hole. We're coming through the eye hole, pulling, and we're looping it in through that hole so it's loose again. So what I've done, guys, is I've done that all the way through, so it's all kind of loose. Here at the bottom, it kind of holds it because they put the holes close together. It's key with stringing another head. You might have to lock one in down here so it doesn't form a big bag at the top of the stick where it will whip. You might have to lock it in right in these bottom holes if it doesn't have 2 holes close together like that. And then just to finish it, we're going through the last hole, come down through it, pulling through, and then we're just pulling through the last eye hole in the side of the stick. What I've done is I did the opposite side the same exact way. After we get that done, you get the nuts tied. I like to pound it a little bit to see where the pocket formed. I just take the butt end of another shaft, another stick, and I just pound it. Now we got our bottom string that's about 1 foot to 8 inches long. With the Proton Power, with doing the bottom string, they only give you 2 holes, so you have to do it a little bit different, but with the 4 holes you can do it the same exact way as the 2 holes. You just start on the outside holes of the 4 holes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie my double knot here. Make sure you tie it towards the end of this, so you can use the whole string. So we tied it, we got it nice and tight. We're going to go up through the first hole, pull it there. Then on the mesh, we ended in this hole, so we're going to go to the next hole down that's on the outside, and we're going to go in through that hole, and we're going to weave it on this straight line. So on that line that goes across the mesh, we're going to weave it in and out. So we're going to come in, out, pull, in, out, pull, all the way through. Once you get that, you pull it nice and tight, and you can come down in through that bottom hole again, and you pull. Then you can adjust your pocket size by this bottom string. Some people wear, like me, I don't have any pocket restraints anymore, so I can play with the biggest pocket I want. With high school, you need to have a smaller pocket, so you'll pull it a little bit tighter. So I put the shooters in. What you basically do with the shooter is you start it on the sidewall. You get your two ends here, and you put one end under, one end over. So whichever string is in your left hand will go over, whichever string is in your right hand will go under, always. So you'll push them under and over, pull them, under and over, pull them, under and over, pull them, all the way through the stick, and then you just tie just your basic shoelace type knot, and you pull. I did 4 shooters in this. I like to play with 4 shooters. It adds a little bit more hold. I put a little U in and then a smaller U in. Most traditional sticks go 2 across and just 1 U. There's our finished product. It has a pretty deep pocket in it. I might have to pull this bottom string a little bit tighter, but that's how you string a stick. We string sticks here at Homegrown for you guys who don't want to try it out, but give it a try. If not, bring it by here and we can string a nice stick up for you guys for the season.